Cortese. I'm a National Marketing Director with the Juice Plus Company, and I've had the great pleasure and good fortune and great happiness of being with this company now for 28 years. And what an adventure. I'm looking forward to the next 28 years. It's not only a blessing but a joy. So we, as I said, come together to really share this with each other. Just to start, we'll tell you a little bit about the company if you're new with us tonight. The Juice Plus Company is actually, I guess we're right at 46 years old now, and it's a company that's experienced huge success over all those years and just continuing to grow and expand. We entered the marketplace so many years ago with a product I'm sure you're all familiar with today. We were the company that invented smoke detectors for the home, and obviously that set the pace for what began just very, very successful years and product lines. A diversification over the years brought the water and air filtration products that started in the early 80s. And then right 24 years ago, I guess now, we introduced health technology products with Juice Plus and the Juice Plus product line. And what a find that has been, not only for our own health and well-being, but for the people we love and those we come across on a daily basis. So, you know, our joy is not only experiencing a product that brings good health, but being able to invite other people to partner with us in business and turn around and do that for the world, basically. We are worldwide. And as I said, we're very fortunate to have people who come and share their knowledge, their information, their inspiration, and do it every Monday night, and really are a help. We're all a help to each other, and many experts who come to be a help to us. And tonight, backed by popular demand, we have a speaker that has always awed us, I guess you would say, because she brings such knowledge in so many different directions and things that really mean a lot just to the basic good health of mankind. So I'm going to introduce you tonight to your speaker, Rosalyn Baker, and just to tell you a little bit about her, she is a master-level social worker. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist and a master addiction counselor. She practices as a psychotherapist and as a neurotherapist in Grand Rapids, Michigan. When talk therapy is not the answer, Rosalyn reprograms brainwaves with computer software. Her practice consists of a wide variety of individuals. Some are seeking peak performance training. Others struggle with eating disorders, anxiety, depression, or chronic illnesses like multiple sclerosis and Alzheimer's disease. Rosalyn is a Juice Plus Prevention Plus speaker, so she's kind enough to, speak for us at many events. She does this basically in the West Michigan area and has integrated her knowledge about the brain with her skills as a Certified Nutritional Consultant. She believes that fruit and vegetable whole food nutrition is the foundation for good health for anyone who wants to die young at an old age. She is passionate and committed to sharing how thankful she is to have been introduced to Juice Plus. And Rosalyn, I really want to live up to that, dying young at an old age. Okay, that's a great line. And very important for all of us. We all want to maximize, the best health in our lifespan. So tonight she's going to talk to you all about something that is very basic. It's healthy stem cells, healthy babies, and healthy future. So Rosalyn, I'm going to turn it over to you, and as I said, we're thrilled to have you back with us.
Oh, thanks, Cheryl. And I so appreciate having a chance to do this call again because I know there were a lot of people who wanted to hear it when I did it in June and didn't get a chance. So thank you for having me on this call. And you know how strong a believer and how committed I am to sharing the information about Juice Plus because I truly feel like this is so. It's such an honorable thing to do, to let people know that we have something that can change lives. And my talk tonight is just about how we're going to change lives starting, in utero and have that affect a child's life for their entire life. So for me, my story is that, I started taking Juice Plus because my granddaughter had eczema when she was 8 and was terribly, terribly constipated. In 4 months, eczema she'd had for 4 years went away, and I called my sponsor, Susan Wittenbach, back and said, what is this stuff? I really didn't even understand what whole food nutrition was. So when she shared with me that it was just fruits and vegetables, I really needed to understand that better. I mean, I was a professional, and I counseled people on health and nutrition as a mental health professional and as a insulin-dependent diabetic. I had patients that were diabetic, and I wanted to understand more about whole food because all I had ever learned about was calories and fats and proteins and carbohydrates. So when I went to my doctor every year, he kept commenting on my blood labs were getting better. Well, at that point, I'd been diabetic 28 years, so the fact my blood labs got better when I'd been taking pretty good care of myself for 28 years was a remarkable improvement. And in the 3rd year, he said to me, I only have 2 patients in my entire diabetic practice with blood labs as good as yours, and you both take Juice Plus. And when he said that, I was just kind of dumbfounded, but felt very blessed because my father and I both were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 28. So he was 28, but he died when I was 19, and he was 54 of diabetic complications. So when I was 28 and diagnosed with diabetes, I was just like shocked. And then I had to say, well, what does it mean to be a good diabetic? And I started researching and studying and worked really hard to be a good diabetic. So to get on Juice Plus and in 3 years be able to make such remarkable improvements to my overall health, it took me by surprise. I had no idea whole food nutrition and fruits and vegetables had the ability to do that. And then a number of years later, my daughter got pregnant, and I felt so blessed that she had been on Juice Plus since I got started on it, because when she was pregnant, I knew that it had to be helpful for her to have a healthy pregnancy. And what I'm going to talk about tonight is what we learned as she went through that pregnancy and gave birth to our darling little grandson, Cole. So besides breathing a sigh of relief for my own health and well-being, I was able to know that by becoming a Juice Plus rep, I was able to then cover the cost of putting my whole family on it. And I had my mother-in-law on it, my husband and my daughters and my granddaughters, because I just knew that this was the right thing to do. And covering the cost was, by being a Juice Plus distributor, just made sense to me. Well, what I don't love, however, is having to face the truth about how our standard American lifestyle, and that we refer to as SAD, is having such a negative influence on all of us. We just realize now that it really starts in the womb. It's not like you get Alzheimer's when you're 70. We start developing Alzheimer's, 20 to 30 years sooner than it shows up as a symptom pattern. And we know that allergies and broken immune systems also are kind of created, in a sense, in the womb. So my talk today focuses on a few reasons why we must strive for nutritional excellence and what benefits can occur when we do achieve nutritional excellence, and also what negative consequences happen when we don't. So fortunately for the majority of women who enter pregnancy, they are healthy, and they remain healthy through the delivery of the baby. And it really, truly is the miracle of life that moms and babies tolerate all those changes so remarkably well. But recently there have been findings that indicate what a mom eats synergistically combined with the toxic chemicals that she is exposed to not only affects her, but it affects her developing fetus, which then influences the way genes behave all through life, right till the end of life. And this evidence is mounting that shows that these detrimental changes are then passed on to the next generation and the next. So this is reportedly what is happening. These gene changes are leaving people vulnerable to a variety of diseases and disorders. which are happening at younger and younger ages, diabetes and obesity and asthma and cancer and depression and anxiety and autism spectrum disorders, and later on in life, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and MS and lupus. I now understand, after studying this for a decade, why Dr. David Katz, MD, head of Yale University Preventative Medicine, said that the children born in the year 2000 or later are expected to have a shorter lifespan than their parents. And this is for the first time in world history. And if this keeps going the way it's been going, it's truly a heartbreaking reality. That's a big reason why I will share Juice Plus the rest of my life, and why I love being a part of the Juice Plus company, because we are a small grassroots wellness movement that is inspiring healthier living. And I just think that is an incredibly honorable thing to be a part of. So when I started taking, or like we like to say, eating Juice Plus myself, I became a business owner to cover the costs, like I said, of putting my whole family on Juice Plus. So when Becky, our middle daughter, got pregnant, I knew that this was good for her. About halfway through her pregnancy, she told me, though, that she hadn't been taking the Vineyard blend, the purple, and I was a little mystified because I thought she was taking all three blends, and we added that to her pregnancy regimen. But think about what I'm saying, which is she was on the Vineyard blend for the second half of her pregnancy, and yet she still had an amazing, healthy pregnancy. So almost a decade ago, when I gave my first Juice Plus Prevention Plus lecture to the public, I gave it on brain health and nutrition, because as a neurotherapist, I know a lot about the brain. Well, when Susan asked me to do a brain health and nutrition talk, I really did not understand the power of whole food nutrition. I really didn't know what whole food really meant. And as I learned more, it just made sense. So when people talk about whole food nutrition, it really means that we have to look at more than just a mineral vitamin supplement. We have to look at the plant as a whole entity with thousands of phytonutrients and plant nutrients working synergistically with minerals and vitamins. That's the difference between what we have with Juice Plus and what people usually take when they take a standard store-bought mineral vitamin, supplement. At that first talk, I had a PowerPoint slide, and that slide said the rate of autism was 1 in 500. Each year that I gave that talk, I had to lower that number on that PowerPoint slide, and now it is 1 in 80. Some say it is 1 in 50. The age of autism is with us, and whatever the actual number is, depending on how you calculate it, the number basically reflects a 600% increase in autism in the last 40 years. Coincidentally, or maybe not so coincidentally, in the last 40 years, 70,000 chemicals have been introduced into our lives. I was reading that the Consumer Product Safety Commission reports that the most common chemicals found in the home, of those common chemicals, cleaning products, hair products, 150 have been linked to allergies, birth defects, cancer, and psychological and developmental abnormalities. This is really scary, because I bet every one of us uses some of those toxic household chemicals. And our women's cosmetics contain them. Our shampoos contain them. So the science of epigenetics is a pretty new science. It examines how certain genes are turned on and certain genes are turned off by environmental exposures. That can be food, it can be chemicals, or food if it's toxic food like processed food or trans fats, or microwave food that changes the molecular structure of the protein molecules in the food. The science of nutrigenomics studies how food affects our genetic makeup, our cell health, and the aging process of our cells. So an example of epigenetics is the increase in worldwide asthma rates that have skyrocketed to epidemic proportions among children. There's a research study that talked about in the boroughs of New York City, which has some of the worst air pollution, about 25% of children are asthmatic. due to exposure to common air pollutants from traffic. And in studying the cord blood of these newborn infants, they found a particular gene was damaged in the newborn infants that later developed asthma, but not in the babies who didn't develop asthma. So what nutrigenomics teaches us is that what the mother has eaten before she gets pregnant and during pregnancy appears to affect the epigenetic switches that turn on genes with a good or a bad outcome. We just know that, we have to take this, I know I have to take this seriously, and that's why I like to share about it. But according to the OBGYN guidelines from the International Federation of Gynecology and Obstetrics, it's not just what you eat once you're trying to get pregnant or when you are pregnant that affects the fertility and the future baby's health. It's been reported that what you eat as a child also influences your chance of getting pregnant and of having a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby decades later. So, these young girls growing up today, we're seeing an increase in infertility rates in girls and boys. By the time a baby girl is born, she has all the eggs that she'll have in her lifetime. Nutrition impacts egg quality from birth until she's ready to get pregnant. The nutrition choices a woman makes either subsidizes her own personal illness or subsidizes her wellness. And this is passed on to the egg and the developing fetus. So most people don't realize that half of all pregnancies in the U.S. are not intended. They are accidental. The health of the mother, long before she gets pregnant, determines future baby's health. So women who have benefited from good nutrition leading up to and during the pregnancy helps protect the baby from future issues, like I mentioned before, allergies and eczema and asthma and diabetes. And, we see so much digestive imbalance these days and autoimmune disorders and diabetes. The list just goes on and on. So it's one of the reasons I feel so passionate about sharing Juice Plus is because fruits and vegetables and berries in Juice Plus have been shown in one way or another to turn on switches that protect us from disease and turn off gene switches that may cause illness. And for an example would be that the broccoli and kale that is found in Juice Plus are superfoods that offer pregnant moms folate, or as it is often referred to as folic acid, a necessary vitamin essential for speedy cell growth. So if you don't have speedy cell growth, you're not going to develop brain neurons efficiently. In the third trimester, brain neurons are growing at 250,000 a minute. 250,000 brain neurons a minute. Too little folate interferes with this cell growth. So healthy whole food, which is grown pesticide and herbicide free, harvested at the peak of ripeness from nutritionally dense soils, this is what creates a healthy baby. But it's almost impossible to eat this way unless you take Juice Plus, because this is what Juice Plus provides, and that's why those of us who take it are just so blessed by this, and we see so many benefits for our overall health. Another example would be vitamin C. Vitamin C is indispensable for life. Without it, we would develop fatal diseases like scurvy. In pregnancy, the RDA, the recommended daily allowance for vitamin C, is 67% higher than for non-pregnant women. We only get vitamin C from our diet. It's not something our body can make. So maternal vitamin C deficiency during pregnancy can have serious consequences for the fetal baby's brain. The part of the brain called the hippocampus, which is our center for memory, has been shown to be stunted, and did some research on this, shown to be stunted by 10 to 15% with poor nutrition and minimal vitamin C. This prevents optimal development of the brain. And the hippocampus is also the part of the brain that's damaged in Alzheimer's. So we certainly don't want to start out life with this brain vulnerability, because it makes us more susceptible later in life. And many women believe that taking a prenatal vitamin is adequate, but what they don't realize is that this is a man-made synthetic supplement that contains only a small handful of minerals and vitamins and doesn't have the supporting plant nutrients. where an apple has approximately 8 milligrams of vitamin C when it's combined, when it is combined with the other 10,000 plant nutrients found in the apple, it creates the vitamin C effect to over 1,000 milligrams, for example. Small amounts equal big effect, just the way God intended. All the nutrients work together synergistically rather than in an isolated way. When a man-made multivitamin is taken, I like to say this in my presentations, when a man-made multivitamin is taken, it gets into the body and it says, okay, we're here. Where do we go and what do we do when we get there? Because it's those supporting plant chemicals that tell the body how much mineral and vitamin to use, what cells it needs to enter, when the cells have enough, and how to detox it out of the body. A friend of mine who was being very careful throughout her pregnancy to avoid known toxins brought me the bottle of a prenatal she was given free from our local grocery store pharmacy. Huge grocery store pharmacy. There are probably, 200 of them in the state of Michigan. And they were giving away free prenatals. She knew what she was going to show me, that I would be shocked, because it contained sodium lauryl sulfate. Do not take a prenatal that has sodium lauryl sulfate. It's a carcinogenic, causes cancer, engine degreaser used in shampoos. But it's also used to make pills slide down easier. Free, but dangerous. She didn't take it, obviously. She was taking Juice Plus, thank goodness. Many prenatals are not easily absorbed due to the waxes and shellacs and are therefore not even digestible. And we wonder why women get sick on prenatals. Juice Plus, however, has 9, I don't know, have to tell me if it's more now, 9 research studies showing it is bioavailable, gets into our body, and effectively increases health, supporting increased antioxidant, and increases the nutrient folate. And this is what we would expect from whole food nutrition, and that's why we would expect it from Juice Plus. Moms and developing babies need nutritional excellence. There's just no way to get around that. And it's almost impossible to eat enough fruits and vegetables. The soils in every continent are depleted of nutrients, and now it's not 5 to 9 anymore. It's been replaced with 7 to 13 for children and 9 to 13 for adults, but that's for the rest of us. That's not even for women who are pregnant or for athletes. Then the need for more fruits and vegetables, or at least the nutrient value of that many fruits and vegetables, becomes critical. In the months leading up to a baby's birth, the umbilical cord, this is amazing, the umbilical cord pulses with the equivalent of at least 300 quarts of blood each day. And that blood carries nutrients that sustain life and propel cell growth, generating cells that start out as little stem cells, microscopic stem cells, which then develop into all the baby's working parts, from hormones to skin to heart. And in fact, we have active stem cells our whole life, and they're constantly working to repair our body as we age. So back in 2007, my friend Lori Agner, who's on the call tonight from Steamboat Springs, arranged a conference call in which 3 women she knew who had taken Juice Plus through their pregnancies explained how they had all experienced high energy, avoided routine illnesses, and had given birth to babies with the highest APGAR scores. And this is just indicated of the healthiest baby you can give birth to. But what stood out to me was that all 3 women reported that the babies were born with large umbilical cords, which I later learned is a biomarker of a healthy pregnancy. I did not know that then. And in this day and age, it is just too risky, I believe, not to do everything you can do to create a healthy baby. We must avoid toxins, and we must fortify with the power of whole food nutrition, which is really, in truth, our only true defense against the toxic world we live in. So a horrifying indicator of how toxic our world has become, in 2004, a study by the Environmental Working Group tested the umbilical cord of 10 newborn infants, and they found a total of 287 pesticides and industrial chemicals and pollutants. They found Teflon, flame retardants, various forms of plastic, and on and on. 217 are toxic to the brain and the central nervous system. So can you imagine how this can be influencing the rapid increase in autism and other developmental issues and in future illnesses. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to report this because I know there are pregnant women on this call, but I am a strong believer that we must be educated to be motivated to make better choices, and that knowledge is wisdom. And I hope that's what comes from my call tonight, because I don't want to be scare people into getting well. I want to influence them and inspire them. So if moms, or in fact all of us, want to offset the genetic changes, those switches on our genes that these chemicals turn on and off, I don't know any safer, easier, or more affordable way than Juice Plus. And this is exactly what we've seen in our new grandson, Cole. When our middle daughter, Becca, became pregnant, she and I began researching the benefits of harvesting the stem cells from her umbilical cord. The procedure is most often done when an older sibling is diagnosed with a life-threatening illness, or like cancer or cerebral palsy or traumatic brain injury, and sometimes autism. We harvested, or the doctor did, Cole's stem cells with the hope that we would never need to use them for Cole or his sister Molly. And hopefully they'll just stay frozen for the next 2 decades. So we waited about a week for the results. In the meantime, we enjoyed spending time with our incredibly healthy, adorable new family member. When our contact person from the cord blood registry called, she said that she told Becca that they typically look for 50 million stem cells in a good sample, and that this company used a state-of-the-art new collection kit, which is why we chose this company, and that her doctor had actually done a great job collecting the stem cells, but it was expected that with this new kit, 100 million stem cells would be collected, 100 million. And that was really kind of just the average. So when she reported to Becca that Cole's sample contained 1,081 million stem cells, I actually had to ask, is that a real number? It just was kind of beyond my calculations. It turns out it's more than 1 billion stem cells. So we went from 100 million of expected average number of stem cells to over 1 billion. Well, of course, I was excited grandma and excited about this information, so I posted that I put a post and a cute picture of my grandson on Facebook, and he was wearing a T-shirt that said, I think now he's about 2 weeks old, had a T-shirt that said I love broccoli on it with a picture of broccoli. And I mentioned that this is what happened with the stem cells. Well, I heard back from some people that several other moms who had taken Juice Plus during pregnancy also had over 1 billion stem cells. So I called the stem cell coordinator back and I said, what about this? And she said it was rare. She only knew one other case of that, but was truly a sign of a healthy pregnancy. I knew another stem cell doctor in Florida, Dr. Feinerman, who cured the bubble boy of his autoimmune disorder many years ago with stem cells. And what he said to me was, it's unheard of. I do stem cell transplants every day. It's unheard of. I have never seen anybody with 1 billion stem cells in a collection. So when you combine that information about stem cells and my grandson and these other women with Dr. Odom's 2006 pregnancy research that was published in the Journal of American Nutraceutical Association journal, you have scientific evidence that taking Juice Plus really does make a difference. Dr. Odom's retrospective research concluded that from 356 patients, there were fewer cesarean deliveries, no premature deliveries before 37 weeks, no diagnosed incidence of preeclampsia, which can be a very serious illness. I know some people who have lost friends from that. And for those who really want to create healthy stem cells, I just think it makes sense to add Juice Plus Complete Protein Smoothie Mix. You just get that much more nutrient value, that much more, support for cell health and cell growth and the health of the mother and the health of the baby, which matters in tandem. Stem cells, in fact, in every cell of our body are made up of protein and amino acids. And amino acids make up this protein. So our complete smoothie mix offers a wonderful, natural, whole food-based shake mix that contains a balanced blend of these amino acids to help make up the healthy protein that needs to develop into a baby and to keep the mother healthy during the pregnancy. I know my body benefits, from the Juice Plus capsules and the Juice Plus Complete. I have my shake every day for breakfast. It's truly changed my health and my relationship with food, meaning that I'm not as hungry, and it's just easier to manage my weight and my health. And at 61, my skin is healthy. No, I'm 62 actually. At 62, my skin is healthy, and I feel great, and at least most of the time, and I have the energy to be active with all my grandchildren. I feel, as you know, Cheryl, I feel so blessed taking Juice Plus and having my family take it, and I feel even more blessed and feel like I'm doing something honorable every time I share it with someone and they accept my gift of good health.
Well, and I have to so agree with you there, and every time I hear a call like this, and I've had the good fortune, as I said, we've been doing this 25 years, to hear so many health professionals, people from all different walks of life who share their own personal stories, health professionals who share information, like you just have, that really helps expand our picture of what, life is about and how to not only create a healthy baby, but then, maintain good health in life. And every time I hear it, I just like, yay, I'm so happy for my body and for my, my family and my grandbabies. And, the fact that, like you just said, it's wonderful to be able to, interact with the little children and the babies as they come along and have the energy and the vitality to do that. And I think what you're really describing is just vitality in life. And we're right back to, want to die young at a very old age, because you're describing that as well. And I just think that we're so fortunate because for myself, I didn't grow up particularly healthy. I had a lot of childhood health issues, and I didn't see myself as healthy, which probably didn't help either. But with Juice Plus, I stepped into a whole new level of health that I probably would have never discovered or never known about. The other blessing is that you bring us is, as you said, education. So I can not only enjoy what Juice Plus brings, but I can, have the knowledge of not only why, but how to really expand that protection in other areas as far as the food that we eat, the way that we, interact with our environment. And one of the things I've noticed, and I'm sure you probably have too, is once you're on Juice Plus, you want the things that are in Juice Plus to eat. You really begin to crave them. So my level of, really eating well for my body increased so much without me having to plot or plan that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happened to me too, in fact. Yeah. And my granddaughter had the eczema, when she was 8, has had it since she was 4. One of the things that I didn't realize, but she mentioned it one time. She said, Grandma, I only missed one day of school since I started Juice Plus. And I went, really? And she said, yeah, that was when the flu went through her family, and she took off one day of school. Mm-hmm. And so now she's graduated from high school this year. So in the last 10 years, she missed one day of school. I don't know that could be true for too many kids. I think that shows
and it's
that
something
what
that
Juice Plus can do.
Right, and that we don't hear that much about, and yet that's so true. But the other thing that's fascinating to me is, and I watch it in children, I've watched it in my own grandbaby. He's 5 now. But children don't get up in the morning and say, I sure need some broccoli or some kale to make sure that I'm healthy. But when you see them want it and ask for it, they're doing it out of desire, which is what Juice Plus creates. And, I'll get tickled at this one because he'll tell people, I don't eat vegetables, and he's got a glass of, green juice that I've just made. So like this and just yumming it up, or he's got a cucumber in his hand. And I think children are programmed to say, I don't eat vegetables. But they do, when they're on Juice Plus, they desire the things, and they don't do it because they think, well, I'd better do this for my body. They do it out of desire. And then you see that with adults. You believe, well, yes, it is true, because when we see it with kids, it's fascinating to me anyway.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But it is a blessing. And, I admire you so much because obviously you have such a real passion to help people, just knowing the work that you do every day with people. And I think that, it's so important this day and age. I know that I look throughout my teams and the organization and our company, and that is the feeling of our distributors, our people in the field, you might say, that share our product with people and encourage others to join us to share our product with people, is that there's so much suffering today because of the environment, the food quality. I mean, people are beginning to suffer from what I call, too, food insecurity, just the fear of, how do they nutritionally support their body, if they can't grow a garden or don't know how to grow a garden or things of that nature. So I think it's, like you said, it's a mission, and it's not only a mission, it's a moral responsibility to, share with people something that can really make a difference. And to think, alluding to everything that you said tonight, that you can really set that child up for good health, a good future, a good life, and that you're setting up not just that child, but his whole future lineage as he goes through life and creates generations of his own.
Right, and that's why, with the addition of the tower garden, where you can, give birth to a healthy child and then have that healthy child, participate in growing organic whole food with a tower garden on your deck or I had mine growing in my laundry room all winter long. It was just wonderful. Now we have, another way that we're influencing children's lives and helping them to appreciate the value of healthy eating by showing them how you grow organic and why it's so important. We're just so blessed now to have that as an additional thing we can offer individuals so they can have healthier families.
And it definitely works. I know my daughter.
I have two of them, so I know. I love them.
You in my backyard. We went on. We did a challenge here in the house. Okay, that we would have one salad, a really big hearty salad from our tower gardens every day of the summer. So I think we're in today. It's either 35 or 42. I've forgotten, but she's in charge of that. Okay, and it's exciting because you really focused on just good health and that example of good health for children around you. So, well, I so enjoyed you being with us tonight, and I know everybody on the line has too. And just such important information and vital information, and something that is very timely, because if you're going to have a baby, or if you've just decided you want to have a baby, or if you're pregnant, you just have that short time to get this done. So that's
and it's never too late to start. And and those stem cells happened, with some history of being on Juice Plus, but adding the Vineyard blend towards the end of the pregnancy. And I just think that it's never too late to start to have a healthy pregnancy. And anybody who wants to get started can just Google clean eating, clean living, and add some Juice Plus to their daily routine, and they should have confidence in that they are subsidizing wellness for themselves and the baby. Just even if they did it for 2 months, even if they did it, after the pregnancy, it doesn't matter when you start. It's just worth starting.
Great. And also the child having it as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah, my grandson's
your granddaughter.
Doing juice
one day.
my grand. Yep.
Oh, my goodness. And she might have stayed home to take care of everybody else. So, well, thank you so much again for your time and your knowledge and your input, and we so appreciate you. And for everybody on the line, appreciate having all of you with us this evening. Really love and enjoy working with each and every one of you. And I've never felt like in all my 28 years that this was a job. It's an adventure, and one that is really a blessing in so many ways, and you all are certainly the largest part of that blessing. So we'll say good night to everyone, and thank you again, Rosalind, so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.